Pelham Panther fans, it's time for Panther Pulse, brought to you by Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill and Joseph Chambers, your State Farm Insurance agent in Pelham. Now live from Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill in the Pelham Town Center, here's the voice of the Pelham Panthers, Justin Foster.
And a drizzle outside, an overcast evening here in Pelham, Alabama, but awfully dry inside here at Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill. It is another edition of the Panther Pulse, live here from Golden Rule each and every Tuesday night during football season. Good evening, everybody. I'm Justin Foster, joined alongside Caleb Turrentine. And Caleb, what you most excited about tonight's packed show?
Well, for starters, it's finally time for some region play. I mean, this is the week, right? This is when it all starts to count. Not to mention, college football starts tomorrow night. But we won't talk about that tonight. We're focused on Pelham tonight.
Hey, and talking a little NBA before we came on here, and we could keep going with college football, NBA, Pelham Panthers athletics. We could have a 4-hour show tonight. But tonight, we again recap Friday night's game against the Oak Mountain Eagles. We look ahead to the region opener against the Clear Eagles. We also have several special guests. We chat with Marty Springfield. We talk a little cross country, a little track, and we also have Coach Bill Strickland joining us to talk PHS wrestling as well. And joining us now, Coach Causey cannot be with us tonight, so we have Panthers OC Kevin Lesore joining us. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Doing great.
And great to have you with us. We will jump right in and go on and talk Friday night's game. A 0-0 halftime game turns into a 21-0 loss to the Oak Mountain Eagles. And early on, nice offensive game plan, ball moving well, and defensively things were rolling. Talk about that first half and how we came out early.
Well, the first half went really quick. We had 3 possessions. We matched possession for them. We were moving the ball, and every now and then you just ran into a wall. We made a mistake here, made a mistake there, and you add up some of those mistakes. Those were the things that kept us out of the end zone.
And it finished, that first half at 0-0. It ended up only being 21 total points. There was a lot of talk about the offenses going into this, specifically the quarterback play. Did it come as a surprise to y'all when y'all, not only the first half, but really the end of the game, only 21 points being scored?
When you look at across the field at the guys that we go against every day, it didn't surprise us one bit. Our defense is wonderful players. They rallied around the ball. Our coaches did a great job of game planning their athletes that they had. And as it turns out, we didn't capitalize on some of their mistakes, and, well, they capitalized on ours, and in big-time ball games, big-time plays are made by big-time players. And theirs just seemed to work for them, and we just couldn't quite get it across the goal line.
Talking about big-time players, quarterback Evan Smith gets all the hype with Oak Mountain. Obviously, very talented player. Early on, we were able to really bottle him up and, force him into some frustration. What was behind that? Really a great defensive game plan on Evan Smith.
Well, that was Coach Talbert and his defensive staff did a great job of coming up with a plan, and then the players executing that plan. There was some buy-in on the game plan that the players were given, and speaking of big-time players, we had big-time players making big-time plays for us as well to keep it that 0-0 in the first half. Second half, if we make a first down or two, we feel like our defense would have played better if we could have kept them off the field just a little bit. Answered some of those touchdowns, I think we would have been we would have really been in a dogfight.
So I do want to ask more about the offensive side of things. What's it like in the offensive meetings this week when after coming out of a shutout? Does it make y'all more hungry to get back out there?
Absolutely. And when coaches meet on Sunday, we talk about what went wrong on Friday. We've had a little bit of time to think about it, a little film study on ourselves, and then we start looking at and we start pointing at, man, we were this block away from this, or we made a mistake there. We didn't execute this block, or we didn't, a wrong read, or whatever it may be. And unfortunately for us, I think we had we had too many mistakes. I think our players know that. I mean, heck, they played the ball game. They knew they didn't play their best. And it was really, really refreshing to see them on Monday morning coming out, hitting the field. We start scrimmaging or practicing or stretching starts at 6:50. I think 80% of our kids were on the field at 6:40, ready to go, ready to get that one behind us and ready to move on. So that shows you what kind of kids we got.
In that second half, again, Oak Mountain just kind of seized the momentum, and as the half progressed, you felt that kind of increase. Do you feel like there was a specific time, or was it a gradual shift in that momentum in the second half?
Well, we're not going to make excuses. We're not going to do it. But when you see some of our key players, they got leg weary. We battled cramps for the first time, and I don't know if we've had that big of a problem since we've been at Pelham, but we did, and we've addressed it this week, and we've moved on, and we learned from those mistakes that put us in those binds, put us in those kind of situations. And, our hats off to them. Great job by Oak Mountain, but still, I think at the end of the day, it's what we didn't do that determined the outcome of that ball game. So again, that game was determined by us, good or bad. It was by us.
So on that note, when you talk about coming into this week and excited to see them all ready to work, can this kind of be a blessing in disguise, especially this early in the season, to give y'all something to learn from, maybe reassess some of those mistakes y'all made?
Absolutely. It kind of humbled us. It kind of put us back on the right track. Concentration level this yesterday and today has been phenomenal. Our kids are dialed in, buying in. The concentration level is there. A lot of focus, all those little buzzwords that you see. But, I told the team the other day, real smart coach once said, don't waste a good loss. And we felt like the last Friday night was a good loss because we learned from it. And I think we're going to get a little better down the road because of it.
Well, we will talk down the road later in the show. Huge region matchup, the opener against Calera coming up Friday to cap off a 3-game homestand to open the season. When we come back, we will chat with 3 seniors on the Pelham Panther football team. That's coming up from Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill. You are listening to the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River.
It's easy to trust a business that's got good history. Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill has been cooking up good eats since 1891, when the first Golden Rule opened up in Irondale. Golden Rule has been one of Pelham's most popular go-to spots since 1980. Whether you want a pork sandwich, slab of ribs, or a feast tailor-made for tailgating, Golden Rule is ready to serve. Good food with a good history. Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill in the Pelham Town Center, just a few doors down from Publix.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs, as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked number 1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Sponsored by LDOT, ABA, and this station.
And back here from Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill at the Pelham Town Center, it is the Panther Pulse as we roll on here as barbecue in the air. Football players joining us now. Gentlemen, welcome aboard the Panther Pulse. How are we doing tonight? And we have Isaac Cruz, Johnny Penna, and Gaten Rella joining us. We start with Isaac and Johnny, 2 guys up front that kind of established the tone for this team on both sides of the ball. Tough game against Oak Mountain. As we talked about it, how do you guys feel we've responded thus far in practice this week?
Well, We've showed up early on time, trying to minimize our mistakes and fix them if we had any.
I think we've done really good with our focus this week. Really, trying to bounce back from what happened Friday.
Yeah, and being able to play against Oak Mountain like that, I mean, I know it's a big rival, but that's a big 7A school. They're obviously very physical. How does that prepare y'all for down the road?
Definitely, we had the same thing happen last year. We lost against Oak Mountain, but then we bounced back, won the region championship. So we'll just have to see where it goes from here.
Speaking on senior year as a whole, I mean, after the year we had, great year, but we've talked about how didn't quite end the way we wanted. First round playoff loss, the loss to Homewood. What kind of goals do you have coming into this season? And, undeniably a great year last year, but how do you want to build on that and cap things off here?
Well, I'll tell you what, everyone says we had a great season last year, and it goes back to our freshman year. We did the same thing, out first round playoffs, and then it happened again last year. We want to change it. We want to set the tone, have it differently than how it's been in history.
And now this week, you get a chance to really control that start of that playoff destiny, at least that first round playoff game. It's region time. Does the mentality shift at all this week?
Oh yeah, 100%. It changes week by week for us, but especially since it's region play now, we're insanely focused every single day, making sure that we catch a win this Friday.
Looking at Calera, I mean, we know the guy who's going to get all the publicity, and rightfully so. Had a great game talking about Kobe Prentice, Alabama commit. Does this excite you guys to go up against somebody like that? Does it get the competitive juices flowing? I mean, sort of respond to that and seeing that big name and knowing that you've got that matchup on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to shut down a big-time player like that really, fires us up,
And Gayton on the opposite side of the ball, I mean, you're matching up with a guy who's really explosive offensively. I mean, how does that fire us up on the offensive ball side of the ball to go compete on Friday?
Well, I'll tell you what, we watch plenty of film on him, plenty of it, and he's an amazing player, no doubt to him. But it fires us up even more because we got players all over the field on offense. We got players like Darius Copeland, Trey Corkill, Jake Fox, and there's no doubt in my mind that we'll do the same as him.
Yeah, and for the receiving corps specifically, I mean, does that y'all know some people are coming to watch that game to watch receivers play, even if it's on the other side of the ball? Does that motivate y'all?
Oh yeah, 100%. If they're coming to watch him, we're gonna try and make their focus change. Have it towards us instead.
Well, I know Darius has said, he's like, you can say it. I don't think he can check me. And so I think you guys all have that kind of mentality. We're coming to compete, and we're not going to be fazed by him. Gayton, want to talk about, let's go back to Mortimer Jordan. Your first varsity touchdown comes on, a wonderful highlight, catch. Talk us through that right before halftime. How did it feel? Walk us through that moment and that catch.
Well, as soon as I saw how the defense was lined up and when he called the play, I saw where the backer was. I saw what route I had to run, and I knew if I got past that backer and if he did throw me the ball, it was going to be a touchdown. And credit to Will, man. That ball was perfect. It was perfect for me and my size. I was able to go and grab it, and it was just no other feeling like it. It was amazing all around.
I want to touch again just on this being opener for region play here. How does that change exactly, especially when you're watching film? I know we've talked about focus and stuff like that, but do you look at things different? Is it a matter of talking up guys around you, especially as leaders, of making sure that focus isn't just within yourself, but getting other guys to do the same thing?
We try to maintain our focus as much as possible. It's a game. It doesn't matter who we play. We want to do our best against each and every other team.
Johnny, I want to talk about this. I know you've kind of moved around positions, changed up through the years. What's been your mindset in contributing to the team regardless?
My mindset is always help out the team. I don't mind where I go, where I play, what I play. I just want to benefit the team any way I can.
You have a preferred position you like to line up at?
I like both. Not gonna lie. I like when I tackle at linebacker. I like when I make good blocks. Give Will time to throw the ball.
Good answer. All right.
You know your coaches are listening when you give an answer like that. I'll play anyway, right?
You just put me on the field, Coach. I know we've talked about it, but, we got to touch on it again. Dealing with COVID for the second year in a row, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's the new normal, but it's certainly something we didn't think would be as prevalent as it is yet again. In your preparation and just dealing with day-to-day, how has it kind of changed that and maybe made you better as players?
Definitely us coming over, becoming better people as all, overcoming the adversity. We know that having these masks on and keeping, staying 6 feet apart, our future counts on it, because we don't know. We could get shut down any day, but we just got to, keep following the rules, keep doing all that.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely didn't think COVID was going to come back like it did. We're trying our best to keep those same precautions we had last year, the same things on the sidelines during games, how we switch offense and defense, how we stay 6 feet apart, how we have masks, all of that. We just don't want to get shut down, anything but that.
Do you feel like maybe the backups and guys that aren't used to getting thrown into that spotlight, is there any difference with them preparation-wise, knowing that, hey, this guy might get quarantined, this guy may not be with, you just never know. Has that changed at all, you think?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I'm going to shout out my brother real quick, Bishop Rella. The same thing happened last year. He's right behind Braden Marlowe, and Braden Marlowe got injured last year, and he had to step up, and he stepped up great as a freshman. He did amazing. And same thing happened this year. Only difference is Braden just got quarantined. He had to step up, and he's done great so far. He had an amazing game against Oak Mountain. And that goes for everybody. They can, when Darius cramped on the sideline at Oak Mountain, Kamari Hollis, he had to step up, and he did great. It's just everyone's changing. Everyone's doing much better than they have been.
And we watch those young guys get reps and see it pay off down the road. You guys as sophomores, a lot of guys thrown in that had to really just adapt on the fly, and, we've seen the results over time. All right, region opener following a loss. What exactly are you guys looking for focus-wise when we come out, in that opening couple of drives to establish Pelham football?
We're just looking to do our job, what we've been practicing all week, and then really just setting the tone for the game, the first play, hitting them in the mouth, getting, setting the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Whether that's on offense or defense, if we get the ball or if we don't, defense we want a 4-and-out right away, more like a 3-and-out, but
take it at whatever way we get it, right?
As best as we can. Offense, we're trying to score as fast as we can, set the tone, punch them in the mouth.
Now, before we let y'all get out of here, y'all were eating pretty hard over there. I know y'all were already looking forward to your food, but now you got to give us what you ordered. This shows at Golden Rule. What'd y'all order what barbecue did you get?
I got them wings, those spicy wings. Oh, so good.
Did you finish them already?
Mm-hmm.
He was done eating.
I got the ribs and white chicken with the fries and mac and cheese.
So wait, ribs and the white chicken.
Yep.
Okay, hey, double meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the rib sandwich, the jumbo.
Okay, there you go.
And then I got fries and mac and cheese with that.
We gotta have the big guys up front eating good.
You can
and
tell which one's
Johnny
ordered
said it's whatever, but that's an offensive lineman's answer right there. Right there. Gentlemen, thanks so much. Looking forward to Friday night and seeing you guys in action. Coming up after the break, Coach Bill Strickland is here, as well as one of his wrestlers. That is coming up right after this. You are listening to the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River.
If you call yourself Golden Rule, you've created high expectations for yourself. Each day, the folks at Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill want to make your dining experience one they'd enjoy as well. That means a hello when you walk in the door, service with a smile, and delicious food made to order. Their pit-cooked barbecue is aimed to give you that homemade feeling. Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill, serving up good eats in Alabama since 1891 and ready to serve you in the Pelham Town Center. just a few doors down from Publix.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs, as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked number 1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
From Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill, it's the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River, live every Tuesday night during the Panthers football season. Joining us now, Coach Bill Strickland, as well as wrestler Xander Terry. Gentlemen, welcome to the Pulse. How are we doing tonight?
Good, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And you know, we'll start with you, Coach Strickland. Man, you came into Pelham when I did, year 4.
That's right.
And we've seen the wrestling program just blossom. Just talk us through where the program's at this year and some of the accomplishments of last year. State champion, a lot of accomplishments. So go on and just brag on the program.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Yeah, year 1 we came in, we were 32nd in the state of Alabama. Then we moved up to 17, 32, 19, 17, and then last year we took 7th. Broke in the top 10, which is one of the goals that we set previous to the season. Had state champ, state runner-up, 3rd place, and a 6th place. Yeah, man, we had 13 qualify for the state tournament last year. We have 12 of those guys coming back. Yeah, we're just super excited. We had a lot of young guys when I first started here, finally growing up, maturing, and have a lot of experience under the belt. So we're excited for this upcoming season. Hopefully we can crack that top 5 and make a push for a run. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you mentioned a ton of returning experience, higher expectations. So what's the wait like at this point? I mean, everyone's talking about football. Y'all still got a couple months to go until you get those first matches under your belt. Are you getting anxious at all, getting ready for it?
No, I mean, we're just ready. We're just working. We lift every morning at 7 a.m. And starting to roll in the afternoon. So we're just ready. We're just taking one day at a time. But I told the guys, like I said today, we have less than 8 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks until our first competition. So we know it's there. But again, we're just trying to take it one day at a time, get better slowly but surely. So,
particularly in the state of Alabama, wrestling is not at the forefront. We're not in Iowa, you know. So, what challenges do you have to kind of promote the sport and raise awareness about it and get guys to come join?
Yeah. So year 1, it was just me at the school, and I had a Dylan Turner. He's a non-paid faculty guy. But he's not a full-time presence at the school. But last summer, we were able to hire Coach Lewis down at the middle school and to kind of recruit those middle schoolers to get that program rolling. And now this year, we're starting to open up our youth program for K through 6. And so we just got to get the word out, got to get kids plugged in, and hopefully we can get a cycle going that will feed the high school program for years to come.
I know a lot of that, especially in Alabama, that comes from recruiting from the football team because you might have a couple of guys in there. How much overlap do y'all have roster-wise?
Yeah, so we purposely have first-period athletics just like the football team because half our team is football players. We have a ton of them over there. We're there every Friday night cheering them on. But, yeah, there's a ton of overlap and a ton of just related skills as far as footwork, hand-eye coordination, leverage, technique. So we have we have a great relationship with the football team.
And I always ask this to wrestling coaches. I know you're always you root for those 15 weeks for them, but is there a little bit of a, you get them early. It's a little bit of a blessing for you.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like I said, I coach middle school football, so I know a lot of those guys. I've coached a lot of those guys, and just like we want to take home a blue map, I'm cheering for them to take home a blue map. So. They go all 15 weeks, man. And I drive the bus, so like let's go on down to Tuscaloosa or Auburn, wherever it is this year, and let's go win it. So no, I mean we'd love to get them back early, but we're cheering them on 100%. They're focused on football right now, which is totally understandable. But yeah, just whenever they get it done, we'll switch gears.
How much do you feel that coaching the middle school teams benefited recruiting your program? I mean, The first guy that comes to mind, Seth Branham, has really blossomed on the football field, and I think in large part I've heard people mention his success on the mat. So how do those two kind of work together, that middle school funneling into the high school?
Yeah, absolutely. When I first got hired in my interview, I told Miss Kill, I want to coach middle school football because, again, I was the only one here, and we didn't have a presence down at the middle school, and I had to start recruiting down there to build those numbers up that it could slowly but surely circulate up to the high school. And Seth Branham at the time was in 8th grade, and we pulled him up to varsity. He made the state tournament. He was one round away from placing in top 6, but yeah, he's just one of those few guys that we have that are on the football team that just slowly translate over to the wrestling team and have huge success on the field and on the mat. So Jake Ingram, Jackson Davenport, all those guys, we really rely on those guys.
And this can be for either of y'all, because a lot of people don't really know maybe the behind-the-scenes side of wrestling. People talk about football. They know the 7-on-7 camps, the summer camps, the spring game. People know there are play dates for basketball, volleyball. What's an off-season look like for y'all right now?
Yeah, so in the spring, so there's multiple styles of wrestling, right? So there's the folk style or scholastic style that we have here in school, but you also have the Olympic styles of freestyle and Greco-Roman. So in the spring and summer is really geared towards freestyle and Greco-Roman, which is a different rule set, different scoring. You get different ways of scoring points. And there's a lot of local tournaments, or before COVID there was, a lot of local tournaments that they could go and explore those different styles and actually work on different positions, which will strengthen them in folk style. And Xander here actually got his first taste of freestyle back in the spring. So, no, it's fun. It's just a fun style to wrestle. It's high scoring. It's high pace. And it's just fun to wrestle that and actually get a different look rather than just going through the same old 12 months out of the year. So that's what the spring looks like. And this summer we just get back into folk style season or scholastic style. We lift. And then here in the preseason we continue to lift every morning at 7 a.m. And have a few afternoons to just knock off the rust and be able to pick right up first practice.
Xander, we talked to you in the past about your experience, but just kind of talk about what you've seen evolution-wise of the program in your time at Pelham, and what drew you to be a part of the team.
Yeah, massive change to the program, massive. Especially just this last year, massive team success. And, to a point, their team success surpasses individual success. And so we've always had great individual wrestlers. Our assistant coach, Dylan, they're great, always had great individual wrestlers, but we've never really had a team like we had last year. And so not only to have that team, but to also set goals to succeed like that as a team. There's nothing quite like it, setting goals as a team and slowly working towards it as a team and achieving it. It was great.
How do you notice sort of practices changing, as you start to see that team success, maybe not one or two guys, but the group succeeding and continuing to improve? How does it change those practices, those dynamics? I've been fortunate to be able to come see you guys practice, and really unlike any sport. So just kind of talk about that and how it changes the culture of the group.
I mean, you see it a lot more in practice. You definitely see just a sharper edge to that focus. You see a change in mentality. I think, a lot of times, especially in the off season, it's easy to just kind of come unfocused, like we have 8 weeks till the season. But, you get into it and everybody starts focusing, and you see just that change in mentality. And you see that change of just we're going to get this done. We need to start working. And, that's where it starts. And then you see it carry over more and more into our matches. You see it carry more and more over into our tournaments and into our team standings and tournaments.
So I think about Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre with this analogy here. But when you have these great mentors and individuals with great success, how does that sort of rub off on the younger guys and breed success as a whole for the group? I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but just having excellent individuals, and how does that sort of feed into team success?
I mean, iron sharpens iron. A lot of times in wrestling, you're not going with just one person. A lot of times you're going with multiple people, even if, they're not around your weight. I've gone with guys before that are about 140, 150 pounds, and I'm upwards of 190. And so, you're getting a good look with tons of different people who have tons of different strengths and weaknesses. and you're working with them. And so, you're slowly pushing each other because you're tired of getting whipped by the same kid every day who's a lot better than you. And you just slowly increase as a team. You bring each other up.
I know we've talked a lot about team here, and I don't want Coach to get mad at me. I'm going to go back to the individual questions here. Now, you say you're closer to 190 now. I know you weren't last year, and you wrestled up quite a bit. I think at 182 last year. Is that where you were?
Yeah, I was at 182. Yes.
So how does that kind of thing prepare you when you starting the season, maybe 20 pounds lighter than that? How does wrestling up like that prepare you for this season?
So, all the weight classes are different. One thing I've noticed is a massive change in pace. That's one thing I didn't really see coming, and that's one thing that I'm learning as I'm practicing, is as I'm wrestling some of those off-season tournaments and I'm wrestling new people, is just really kind of getting used to the new style. But definitely, I know it's definitely very preparing. Just to have that under my belt, the kids at 182 are a lot faster than at 195, and so definitely being in faster-paced matches has definitely helped.
So you'll be at 195 this year? Is that what you're expecting
yes,
to be at? I know the 195 6A title has kind of been under wraps by a kid in Wetumpka the past couple of years. Do you feel like it's a little more open? Do you like your chances?
Oh yeah, I definitely like my chances, and whether that's from my ability or my coach's ability. One of the biggest things in our program is to trust our training and trust our coaches, and so I'm definitely riding in with that. And my experience, now being a senior, looking at where I was freshman year, sophomore year, 7th grade, just even last year, just seeing that, feeling that, and just kind of gaining more of a natural confidence.
With the program growing so much in your time at Pelham, what mark do you want to leave for your senior class?
I want to leave something that will continue on. I think becoming a senior, I've just realized a lot more of after this it's done, and then it's going to be other kids, and then they're gone, and it's going to be other kids, and it's what am I going to leave behind that's that's going to push them to do greater. Am I going to put my name on that wall in the wrestling room, and is there going to be a kid that's going to look at that and say, man, I want to do that too? It's all about what can I leave that's going to influence the kids after me to wrestle better.
Awesome. And Coach Strickland, similar question. With all this progress, sort of what's next and what's on your list of goals as we go forward?
Yeah, man, top 5 is the goal this year. And like Xander said, Pelham's never had, I think the highest Pelham's ever placed in the state tournament is 7th. And so we've never had a top 5 team. We've never had a state. We've never brought any hardware home from the state tournament. So just knowing that we can do it this year, and for future teams to recognize that it can be done here, and we can build it ourselves and not have to go somewhere else to find it, that we can build it right here in Pelham. Yeah, man, that's huge. It builds a lot of confidence in yourself and in your program when you're looking at the wall on the wrestling room and seeing all these names and seeing these teams that have done it, and have done it not so recently, not so far away. So it breeds a lot. Success breeds success, and game recognizes game. So it's just building for the next team and the next man up.
Awesome. Coach Strickland, Xander, thanks for joining us. When we come back, Coach Marty Springfield is joining us. That is coming up right after this. From Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill, you are listening to the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River.
At some barbecue joints, a pork sandwich is more bread than pork. Not at Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill. Their pork sandwich is packed with so much juicy pit-cooked meat, you'll also need a fork to eat it. Big portions at a not-so-big price. That's the Golden Rule way since 1891. It's the oldest continuously running restaurant in Alabama. Pork, chicken, brisket, ribs, burgers, catfish. Our menu is as loaded as that pork sandwich. Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill in the Pelham Town Center, just a few doors down from Publix.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs, as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked number 1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back here from Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill, joining us now here on the Panther Pulse, Coach Marty Springfield, as well as Thompson Gennari. Gentlemen, welcome to the Pulse. How are we doing tonight?
Great, thank you.
Great to have y'all with us. And Coach Springfield, we will start with you. You guys are never in off season. I feel like you're always doing something with track, cross country, and field events. So just talk a little bit about what's going on in the fall and what that schedule is going to look like.
Yeah, so right now we're in the middle of cross country season, and so that's been going on. We start meeting as a group in late June. So you're right, there's not a lot of downtime. They basically get late May off, a little bit of June, and then they get right back at it, at least as a group. But yeah, we're working hard. We meet a couple days a week in the mornings. We found that it's just so hot in the afternoons. It's hard to get good practices in. The heat gets to them before their legs or their lungs give out, and so we move to the morning. We run at 5:45 or 6, and they finish up, take a shower, and go to class. And then we run a couple of easy days in the afternoon when it's a little hot, just so they get some used to the heat a little bit.
So with the 5:45, that takes a special breed with these high school kids. Do you see it as a struggle, or are they happy to avoid the heat?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, it's a struggle to some degree because it's early. They are high school, but
it's early for me. I'm not.
I mean, it's early for me. It's early for everybody, but they get used to it, and they are glad to be out of the heat. And one change this year is actually our middle school's running them too, so they're practicing with us. So we got middle schoolers out there as well. But one thing I found over the years is as far as with distance running, it takes so much dedication. They got to do a lot when they're not with me, and so generally those are people that have a lot of self-discipline. They tend to be good students. They tend to be high achievers because, again, unlike a lot of sports, track included, there's not a coach there all the time. They've got to do a lot away from me, and so those are a little different sometimes.
We can get into cross country because I know that's what's in season now, and you'll actually get to start this week.
We do.
But with that being said, I know a lot of other teams have started already. Meets have been going on for a couple of weeks now. Is that a little bit of a late start? Do you like that, having more training time?
Yeah, it's a long season. I mean, we're going all the way through November. We only get a certain number of meets anyway, and so I found that I'd rather have a little bit extra time practice than just throw them in. I do have some every year. I tend to have a couple new ones, and that maybe didn't get the full amount of training over the summer. And to throw them into a meet with only a week and a half, 2 weeks of practice, it's tough. It's tough. So I'd rather get them as well as the ones I've had all summer. Let's have a good, solid week, 2, 3 even of being at school and getting into that routine before we get into meets. But yeah, we're looking forward to Thursday. It's going to be great. We do ease into it a little bit. We only run 2 miles. Normally we'll run a 5K, so it's a little bit longer. So this one just kind of lets us ease into it a little bit. And it's good competition. There's going to be great teams there. So we're looking forward to it.
When you look down the schedule there, I know a bunch of teams or runners will have their favorite meet or their favorite course. Do you have one circled on the schedule for this year?
I mean, the second meet of the year we run at Chickasaw Trails, which is the state meet course. It's a fast course. They always like to run fast. They like to see that low time next to their name. Whether they ran great or not, they love that low time. And so, they like to run where we can run fast, and that's going to be a course that is fast.
Thompson, you?
Like you said, Chickasaw, because it's generally shaded, so it's not too hot out there, and then it's always it's not too hilly, so your legs aren't hurting as bad as most meets would. And yeah, it's always nice to see a lower time next to your name.
Are there any benefits to the hillier courses and the more challenging?
Not really. I mean, it just hurts worse. And you feel like it's always going to be further than it really is because of how tired you are after going up a hill. You're always out of breath because the hills just make it worse.
I guess the benefit comes when you get back on the flat one, and that's just that much easier.
Yeah.
Thompson, this question for you. This is a different type of sport. Mentally, the preparation is different. And like Coach said, a lot of it you have to do in your own time. What draws you to the sport, and why do you enjoy it?
Well, I generally like listen to music, so whenever I start to run, I'll just put on music and like it just kind of like clears your head if you're ever like stressed about anything. You can just keep running, keep going, and then I don't know. I just find it fun to run.
Which is not everybody.
No, not me. So take me through like a meet for yourselves. I know that not many people go out there. One, it's usually Saturday mornings is when they are, and I know the crowd's a little different. It's not like you can watch someone do the entire race. What's the atmosphere like at these meets for runners specifically? Honestly, you first, Thompson.
Generally, there's usually a lot of teams there. It's always like a very crowded space, and then when you get on the start line, it's always like you're like very nervous, and then the second that you start, all the nerves just go away and you just start going. Generally in the start, you'll be like a lot faster than you are, and then just throughout the race, you start holding the pace and finding like people to like pass and stuff. And then by the time you get to the end, then you're just ready to be done and get out.
What's it like from a coaching perspective? Because you can't, be yelling at them the entire race.
There's a big variety of the courses. There's ones where, it's an out and back, and I see them twice, and that's really all. And then there's some where we're doing some loops, figure eights, whatnot, and so maybe I can see them 4 or 5 times. And so there's a big variety, and there's a variety on the size of the meets. Like the one we're going to this week, the 10, 12 teams. Each race will have maybe 180 kids in it, 180 boys, 180 girls, something like that. And then when we go to Chickasaw, it's one of the bigger ones in the state. There'll be a couple thousand athletes there, and so they'll run 10 races. Each one of them will have, a couple hundred people in it, and then all those parents. And so that's always a nice atmosphere when you're able to run somewhere, and there are a lot of fans there, a lot of people yelling, screaming. It's a little more exciting, for sure.
Mentally, running is a different animal. So, question for both of you: how does that sort of mental preparation and endurance impact other sports, and maybe how do you sell it to athletes playing another sport to say, hey, come out and give us a try, and that might help your other sports out as well?
I mean, it is mentally different, because you're able to be in your head for a long period of time while you're running, and again, that's why I think it draws those people that are self-motivated. They've got a lot of dedication. We tend to get a lot of high-achieving students, valedictorians and national merit finalists and those kind of kids, because they're used to putting in time and doing something that maybe is not the easiest thing to do, but it's something that they feel is important to do. And so hopefully, it does translate over. I know Thompson plays basketball. We have several of our girls this year that play soccer. That's a natural carryover there as far as physically. And so, it's a hard sell sometimes, especially for high schoolers. So, just like with wrestling, we're better off if we can get them in middle school, get them started. Then it's just part of their routine. It's just part of what they do. They're part of their identity.
And to touch on just the recruiting guys like that, I mean, you see football guys run track. You see, like you mentioned, soccer doing more cross-country stuff. You don't see a lot of people just do cross-country. Do you ever try to go out looking for someone who is just naturally a long-distance runner that would only do cross-country?
It's hard just to do cross-country, only because distance running is a year-round thing. I mean, at least if you're going to be at a certain level. I mean, yeah, if you're just, just want to come out and be part of the team, sure, you could do that. But if you want to be competitive, be one of the upper people, it's really a year-round thing. I mean, it's just something that has to be part of what you do. And, yeah, you have off days, but you're never going to, hey, I'm just not going to run for the next 6 months. Like, it's just not part of what a distance runner does. And so it is a little bit different for sure than track or a sprinter or jumper or something like that.
But you always have your cross-country people running either a 1600 or something like that when it comes to track season.
Yeah, I mean, they may take a season off. Like, he's going to, he plays basketball, right, and he's going to run a little bit indoor while he plays basketball, and we may have somebody go to wrestling and then come back. But they're still at least going to be active. They're not going to just be at home or, or whatever. They're going to be active in something else.
Thompson, I got to ask, as somebody that likes to run and loves to play basketball, how do you fight the shin splints? Because that fast twitch on the basketball court and running, it took me out of the running for a little bit. So is that something you deal with, and, how do you fight that?
Yes, sir, it is. I'm actually dealing with it right now. I just ice my legs a lot and have to roll out and stretch constantly. There's nothing you can really do about it to stop it from happening. You can just do things like help prevent. As I said, I have to ice every day, stretch. I'm always doing stuff to help prevent.
Are you able to continue to run during the heat of basketball season with all those practices? Do you get out and get some miles in then?
If we have an off day for basketball, I'll go out and I'll do probably a mile or two. I never really do heavy running or a bunch of distance. But I'll try and get out and do maybe a couple miles on our off days.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to it. And again, Thursday we start. And where's that meet?
We are at Thompson High School.
Thompson High School. All right. And what time do we get started, folks?
We're 4 and 4:30.
4 and 4:30. Well, best of luck, and glad you could join us tonight and come on out and chat with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Fill up on some barbecue, and then you can burn it off with a nice run tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. Coach Springfield and Thompson joining us here. Coming up, we wrap things up here from Golden Rule. It's been another great week, and we cap things off as we preview the game against Calera Friday. We have Kevin Lesore joining us yet again. That is coming up right after this from Golden Rule. You're listening to the Panther Pulse on 93.3 The River.
It's easy to trust a business that's got good history. Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill has been cooking up good eats since 1891, when the first Golden Rule opened up in Irondale. Golden Rule has been one of Pelham's most popular go-to spots since 1980. Whether you want a pork sandwich, slab of ribs, or a feast tailor-made for tailgating, Golden Rule is ready to serve. Good food with a good history. Golden Rule Barbecue and Grill in the Pelham Town Center, just a few doors down from Publix.
State Farm Insurance Agent Joseph Chambers is a proud supporter of 93.3 The River and all things Pelham. Joseph and his staff can take care of your home and auto insurance needs, as well as life insurance. State Farm was recently ranked #1 by J.D. Power and Associates for life insurance customer satisfaction. Joseph's office is located in the Canyon Park Office Center. His number is 205-663-3276. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Singer Percy Sledge was one of the most identifiable voices in the genre of country soul, which emerged from Muscle Shoals in the mid-1960s. In 1966, Sledge recorded his most iconic song, When a Man Loves a Woman. The song topped Billboard's Top 100 for 16 weeks. Percy Sledge's career spanned 5 decades. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2005.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ADA, and this station.
Back here from Golden Rule Barbecue as we close things out on yet another great edition of the Panther Pulse. Justin Foster, Caleb Turrentine, joined yet again by Coach Kevin Lesore. Coach, we look ahead to Friday's matchup with Calera. New coach Jason Hamlin comes in, takes over the helm. What have we seen change-wise, philosophy, offensive, defensively? Oak Mountain has a new coach, and we saw a completely different offense. Are we seeing that from the Eagles when we look at them?
Pretty much. Everything is brand new. And, the one thing that I'm going to tell him is that he's doing a really good job, it seems like, of instilling a little discipline on the team. You know, the defensive guys are where they're supposed to be. The offensive guys are running routes that are a little more crisper, a little more sharper. Seems like the kids are in shape a little more than what they have been in the past, and he's got the ball rolling down there right now.
And when it comes to a region opener, we ask this to the players too, what kind of shift and mindset do you look from a coaching perspective when you are going into region week?
Well, you spend a little more time. You spend a little more effort. You make sure that every T is crossed in a 90-degree angle. Not just crossing it, but crossing it the right way, and things like that. And And we've done that this week as coaches. We feel very prepared going into the game. We told our kids, the kids are going to be ready. We as coaches are going to be ready, and we're going to make certain that they're ready as well.
You know, both teams coming off tough losses. You know, us to Oak Mountain, Calera loses to J.O. How important is it for one team to establish early momentum and kind of right the ship and see some good things happen as that game starts?
Well, everybody wants to jump out on top first. That goes without speaking. I don't care what level you're dealing with. But for us, it's kind of, we're going to feel it. We're going to feel it our way through this thing. And if we got a chance to strike fast, quick, and in a hurry, we're going to. However, we're also thinking of the other side of the ball. If we can get one of those 8 and 10 play drives that we had last week, but this time we need to finish it in the end zone or points on the board or something. You know, we need to get something out of it other than first downs. You know, you don't get points for first downs, but I think we're in that mindset right now where we could probably do either one. You know, or that's what we're preparing for anyway.
Yeah, coming off a shutout, we already touched on I know you want me to stop saying the word shutout. I'll leave last week, right? But this was a true.
I don't know. That might be motivation for us so that you don't ever have to say that word to us ever again.
Well, there you go. So last year, this was a true shootout. I mean, there were 90 points scored in this game.
Wow.
Do you expect to be a same kind of fireworks when you're looking at tape and seeing how everything matches up?
I don't. When we play them, it's kind of like, you ask for, for me to tell the future and things like that. But, the only thing that I can grasp and express is kind of like Clubber Lang's famous words in Rocky III, when they said, what do you expect? And he said, pain. I think two teams are going to be on the field. I think two teams that are going to be ready, two teams that are going to be really fired up to play this ball game. This is the first region game. It's a team that's just, 18 miles down the road.
Are there any particular focuses on offense to kind of right that ship, or anything we're emphasizing this week with our guys?
We're finishing things. We're crisping. We're trying to get sharper with some of our reads, some of our decision making, some of our blocks. We're just going throughout the day, and we're constantly reminding the guys, hey, look now, one more foot, one more yard, you get that block, it's 6 points. And so it's just that constant wanting perfection, trying to establish excellence kind of a thing,
And Calera, they've given up 30 points per game just through 2 games this year, but they were susceptible to points last year as well. How do you kind of, and I think it's safe for me to say from a coaching perspective you can't, but their defense isn't going to be as good as Oak Mountain's defense. So how do you toe the line of maybe getting your offensive guys more confident after last week, but also not, maybe expressing what I just did?
I wouldn't say that too loud. I wouldn't say that to Calera. But I will say this. Calera has some phenomenal athletes that are beginning to play better and better technique. They've gotten better every single week that we've seen on game film. They're doing the right kind of things. We, on the other hand, we've got a marker too, and it draws plays, and we come up with schemes that are going to be what we feel like very successful Friday night.
Talked about phenomenal athletes, and we'll get to Kobe Prentice. I know that's where the spotlight's going to be with them all year long. What other guys on this Calera team are you looking at and saying, this guy's impressive and you got to look out for them?
Well, they're everywhere. I don't mean to say that I've come up with this, but I overhear our defensive staff guys saying things like, that one kid, he's really, really good, but this kid over here is not bad. They've got a playmaker in this guy right here. This guy is always making some really crucial blocks. I see this, everybody knows, like you said, but there's some other athletes over there as well, and they do a really, really good job of using them, and they do a really, really good job of using the talent that they've got, move him around the field, find different ways to get him the ball. Things like that, causes defenses a little bit of struggle, I really do.
Well, so I'll touch on Kobe Prentice then, if we're going to get there eventually. So when you're looking at film from this, how happy are you to be the offensive coordinator instead of the defensive coordinator?
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't make me feel any better whatsoever because they've got some players on defense as well. 21 is a little outside linebacker, star back, if you will. He's all over the place. He's very physical. They've got a safety that really screams down in the box and gets real physical with them. I think in 2 games they've played 8 defensive linemen, and they're on a rotation basis. We can't get a really good feel out of them. They just keep running a different set on and off the field, and that speaks volumes of their coaching staff and what all they've been able to accomplish in such a short period of time. But with all of that being said, don't forget the guys that wear green on Friday night. We've got some playmakers too, and we're going to get them out in the open. We're going to get them in space, and we're going to see what we can do as well.
So I do want to touch on that. You talked about your Pelham guys, and when you do see an SEC commit like on the other side of the field, I mean, even you saw a Northwestern guy last week, but do you use that as motivation for your guys specifically, maybe the receiving?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you have to. In the world of social media, in the world of everybody's a 2-star, 3-star, this and this, that, and that, and the other, I don't think you have to.
You just let me keep talking about them, so they.
Yeah, but I mean, good athletes are going to get attention, and any time that you're playing a good athlete, you do want to play your best, and I think that's where our kids are right now.
A year ago, he put on a show, and it was, I'm sitting here wondering, how's this guy not all over everybody's radar? He has some great camps over the summer, gets the Maryland. He's a Maryland commit for a little while, and then he's an Alabama commit. I will be honest, I grew up in Montevallo, and, you're a Calera guy yourself.
I am.
So I know we're both rooting for him in the big picture. When J.J. Evans came out of Montevallo, I was,
right,
singing his praises. But for our guys to see a guy like that who really put on a show, who we knew this guy can ball, for him to get that offer from Alabama and to be on everybody's radar, what kind of message is that for our guys who are maybe waiting for that attention and hoping that might happen for them?
Well, we know right off the bat that everybody is going to see this game film. If you want to get that next step in the offers, and if and some of our older guys that are looking towards colleges and things like that, you play against the best. You've got an opportunity to really showcase what you can do and things like that, because everybody's going to see that video. And so it is a little bit of a I can't wait to get in there kind of a feeling for our players, and I think our guys are looking forward to it.
We talked during the break. I'm not going to say what year you graduated, but I did mention, you're a Calera graduate.
I am a Calera graduate from 1989.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, I'm fine having graduated in the 80s, decade of the best music that's ever been
There
written.
you go. What does this one mean? Does it still have a little bit of a nostalgic feel for you?
Oh, gosh, guys, if you would have asked me that a couple of years ago, when I got to return to my home stadium that I grew up playing in, and it was kind of special for me. One of my high school football coaches were there, and it's a special time. Anytime you get to go back to your place where you learn to play the game, and that passion of playing on a field, and now you're coaching against that, and it was a very special moment for me and my coach. He's a guy that I thought the world of and still do, and I think he might be the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and have been doing it for 28 years, and expect to. I don't know if I can go another 28. I'm not Nick Saban, but definitely it's still that same passion, and doing special things like that really gets coaches going.
Coach, thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
Enjoyed chatting, and we look forward to that one on Friday.
We all are.
Again, you can tune in right here on 93.3 The River. We will have all of your coverage. Myself, Kyle Cotton. That is, again, kickoff 7 o'clock Friday night at Ned Bearden Stadium. as region play begins for the Pelham Panthers against the Calera Eagles. Want to thank all of our guests tonight, Coach Springfield, Coach Strickland, Coach Lesore, for all the folks here at Golden Rule. You know, I'm starving here. Time to get off, get some grub in us. For myself, Caleb Turrentine, all the folks at the River, I'm Justin Foster. Want to again thank Golden Rule as well as State Farm Insurance agent Joseph Chambers. That is it for the Panther Pulse. We're wrapping up here on 93.3. We will see you Friday night. Good night, and go Panthers.